Yields. I now recognize Mr. Carter for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let's be very clear about what's happening here today. Despite the name of this committee and despite the claims from across the aisle, today's markup is not about securing our border. It's about cutting taxes for the wealthy and gutting programs like Medicaid and SNAP, plain and simple. In my district in South Louisiana, nearly 300,000 people are on Medicaid, are now at risk of losing their health care under Republican budget plans. This figure includes nearly 130,000 children under the age of 19 and 33,000 seniors over the age of 65 in my district alone in Louisiana. At a time when American families are struggling with rising costs and access to health care, my Republican colleagues have decided to prioritize giveaways to billionaires and special interests over the needs of everyday people. And let's talk about how we got here. Congressional Republicans have utterly failed in their most basic oversight duties. They're focusing through a massive bill with a single appearance from Secretary Noem, without one hearing, without one word of testimony on DHS's actual budget needs and priorities. That is legislative malpractice. Worse yet, this bill would supercharge the administration's extreme mass deportation agenda. We're seeing dangerous rise in forced disappearances of immigrants without due process, many of whom have done nothing more than exercise their First Amendment right and have not been convicted of any crime by any of our justice systems. Speaking out in this country should never be a deportable offense, even if we don't like what we hear. We're not obligated to agree with or like what we hear to be protected by free speech. It's un-American and it's unconstitutional. Just last week, I had the opportunity to visit several individuals detained by ICE in 2 facilities in Louisiana. People whose only crime was daring to speak out against what they felt were injustices. I met with Mahmoud Khalil, a lawful permanent resident and Colombian grad student detained after peaceful pro-Palestinian advocacy, someone who has said publicly that he is against terrorism, against Hamas, merely concerned about his homeland and the devastation happening in Gaza. As he sat in jail, the government denied his request to attend his son's recent birth. His story is heartbreaking, but now no longer unique. Mahmoud exercised his First Amendment rights to criticize the government. For that, he now sits behind bars facing deportation. Mahmoud's case is one of many. Across the country, individuals are being detained and deported, not for violating immigration laws, but for raising their voices and for attending protests, for posting social media, for seeking a better life. This is not hypothetical. Advocacy organizations, legal experts, and watchdog groups have all documented an alarming pattern of retaliation against immigrants and visa holders who dare to speak out. When government uses immigration enforcement as a weapon to silence dissident, it violates the most basic principles of our democracy. The First Amendment does not have an asterisk next to it. It does not say freedom of speech just for citizens. It protects everyone on our soil, no matter their immigration status. When we allow political expression to become deportable offenses, we not only betray the constitutional values, we send a chilling message to all communities that their rights are conditional and precarious. The United States should be a beacon for freedom, not a cautionary tale. Mahmoud Khalil and so many others like him deserve better from us. And now the cruelty of this administration's deportation agenda has reached a horrifying new low. Deporting American citizen children. Recently in my hometown, the District of New Orleans, U.S.-born citizens, children, removed from this country, ripped from their communities, their schools, and in one heartbreaking case from across, access to life-saving medical care. One of those children, a 4-year-old battling with a rare form of cancer, instead of receiving the care and stability they need, this child and their family were targeted for deportation and hurriedly put on a plane and sent to Honduras. This is not border security. This is state-sanctioned trauma, and it's unconstitutional. The American people are watching, and as a recent poll shows, they do not support ripping families apart. They do not support criminalizing speech. They believe in the rule of law and due process. This bill is not about safety. It's about security. It's about power. It's about politics in the sense and the expense of our most fundamental values. I urge you to dig deep into your hearts. Do the right thing. Don't follow the political talking points. Do what's right for the American people. I yield back.
The gentleman yields. I'd like to state that as I have been as fair as possible on the letting people go past the 5 minutes, I